First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rokah Kodash. Yahweh is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashim means in the name, Rokah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's video, I have it titled, All Nations Are Realizing That America is the Problem. Okay? And pretty much this is inspired by a couple of Twitter posts I have. I'm going to go over in this video right here. Right? Let's just get straight into it.
In 2 decades, it is expected that there will be $150 billion worth of oil and gas extracted off your coast. It's an extraordinary figure. But think of it in practical terms. That means, according to many experts, more than 2 billion tons of carbon emissions will come from your seabed, from those reserves, and be released into the atmosphere. I don't know if you as a head of state went to the COP in Dubai.
Let me stop you right there. Do you know that Guyana has a forest forever that is the size of England and Scotland combined? A forest that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon. A forest that we have kept alive. A forest that we have kept alive.
Does that give you the right? Does that give you the right to release all of this carbon?
Does that give you the right to lecture us on climate change? I am going to lecture you on climate change because we have kept this forest alive that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon that you enjoy, that the world enjoy, that you don't pay us for, that you don't value, that you don't see a value in, that the people of Guyana has kept alive. Guess what? We have the lowest deforestation rate in the world. And guess what? Even with our greatest exploration of the oil and gas resource we have now, we will still be net zero. Guyana will still be net zero.
Isn't there a cynicism here in Georgetown, best expressed by your vice president, who said recently, because there is this climate change imperative to decarbonize, our policy is to get as much oil out of the ground as quickly as possible. Now, he said, that's harsh for those who think that you should be environmentally sound, but that is the reality of it. Those were very honest words from your vice president.
And that is what we are, honest. We're practical.
So you're rushing to get this oil out before any deal is done, to quote Dubai COP, to transition away from oil and gas.
You can say we are rushing, but we are very practical. We have this natural resource, and we are going to aggressively pursue this natural resource because we have to develop our country. We are committed to the development of this region. We have to create opportunity for our people because no one is bringing...
Right, and you heard the Guyana president, right? He was pretty much again on his ass because America is always pushing these policies about climate change. You guys can't do this, you guys can't do that, right? I was listening to the brother Casey Living Waters, I forgot his name, but he was pretty much going into how Esau, Edom, right? These Americans, they'll literally destroy an entire forest, right? To set up they'll destroy an entire forest to plant their own trees, right? That are genetically modified and half work, right? Instead of just letting nature do its thing, Esau, Edom, he'll destroy a whole camp of watermelons, right, with seeded watermelons, to go in there and plant his GMO and seedless watermelons and just do it that way, okay? They always want to try to invent and do something new, okay? And it's always hypocrisy, okay? They say, yeah, you guys need to do this, this, and this, right? No, you guys can't do this, this, and this, whereas the entire time they're doing it, okay? And that's a very broad statement, but you get the gist. But hey, all nations are realizing that America is the problem. Right here in this Twitter post, I think I just deleted it. Well, pretty much it was going into Cuba, man. It was going into Cuba, how the Americans are a bunch of hypocrites and that it's just untrustworthy, right? When the Cuban president was going into how when you look at everything that America does, they are in the next level of hypocrisy. Right? It's a shame that Twitter post went down. But let's just start off with the scripture. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. It says Babylon. Right? Babylon here is talking about America. It says, have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. Right? And that drunken, right, it says the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Right? And that wine is going into the philosophies. Okay? Wine in the scriptures is symbolic for philosophies. Okay? And the philosophies of America is what has got these nations mad because they're realizing that the American way to do things does not work. Right? The American way to raise up your daughter, your family, is completely contrary to God's natural order. Right? It just breeds chaos and distrust. Right? It breeds just confusion. That's what Babylon means, is confusion. Okay, and these nations are realizing that, hold up, ever since we've been going after these damn Americans, nothing's ever been prospering, right? Nothing ever goes our way. We're always being hit with the left and a right hook, okay? And the reason for that is because you're going against Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai's law, statutes, and commandments, right? You're sowing into wickedness, okay? You're sowing into chaos, okay? Because the true order is the law, statutes, and commandments. And where there is no order, there is chaos. So it says the nations are mad, right? That's what we just saw in this video, right? This guy right here, Guyana president, he's mad that this white guy there, so right, the so-called white person, looks like an Edomite, is trying to get on his ass about carbon emissions, right? And then he breaks it down. He breaks it down talking about we have a rainforest that is as big as these two countries. Stop talking to me. Right? What are you guys doing? Okay, but it says that therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Right? That's what's gonna happen, is that these nations are realizing that America is the problem. Okay, this Guyana president right there, he's in that mindset. Okay, and recently I have some Twitter articles or posts here too. We'll start with this one right here. Iran to U.S. says you are as guilty as Israel. Okay, right there, Iran telling U.S. you are as guilty as Israel. Iran Deputy UN Ambassador Zahra Ershadi, the United States is responsible for all crimes committed by the Israeli regime. The savage and genocide acts in Gaza cannot be happen without explicit consent and comprehensive political, financial, and military support, as well as partnership from the United States. Right, and that's what all these nations understand, is that Israel is being funded by the Americans, okay, because they are the same people, right? They're Edomites, okay, ultimately being ruled by the elites at the top, which are also Edomites, right? Just trying to keep that family line going and keep that power structure alive, okay? But hey, Iran knows, Russia knows, China knows, Guyana president knows, okay? And that's why they're ultimately going to destroy the land of Israel, right? I went into that the other video, pretty much breaking down with the Iran, all those prophecies, right? Russia, China, all those nations are going to destroy the land of Israel, and then they're going to come to America, okay? And all nations, right? Even the allies of America and Israel, okay? NATO and EU, all nations are going to turn upon America and shoot missiles over here. Let's get that scripture. Revelation chapter 17. Revelation chapter 17, right? And this is pretty much going into the beast with the 10 heads, and I think it's 7 heads and the 10 horns, right? I'm not trying to get it backwards, right? Yeah, 7 heads and the 10 horns, right? 7 heads going into the 7 empires of Esau, Edom, okay? And the 10 horns is dealing with NATO and EU, okay? Because NATO started from 10 countries, right? It all started with 10. So that's the context, right? You can search up GMS Revelation 17 breakdown, or just GMS Revelation 17 beast with 7 heads, 10 horns. Search that up on Google. You'll probably get the image of the breakdown. But this is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. It says, and the 10 horns, right? This is talking about NATO and EU, all those allied countries, which thou sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore, right? The whore here is talking about Babylon the Great, aka America. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. Right, and that's the point, is that those 10 horns are going to destroy the whore, right, with fire. Okay, and that fire is going to come by the way of nuclear missiles. Okay, symbolically in the scriptures, those missiles are called arrows. Right, you can read that in Psalms the 91st chapter. I think Joel, the 2nd chapter, refers to them as missiles also. Also, Jeremiah chapter 50, 51, both of those go into it. Okay, it's one story throughout the entire scriptures. America is going to get destroyed by nuclear missiles. Okay, because they're realizing the hypocrisy. Let's read another one. In Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 6, right, and this is it's talking about the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh concerning Edom, right? And the Edomites right now, so-called white people, right? Those are the biblical Edomites, and they are in power right now, right? Scripture to prove that is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9, right? Where it says that Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? What is that talking about? Jacob is going into the kingdom of heaven, right? With the Israelites ruling forever, right? So before that happens, okay, the Edomites, Esau, they are the ones that are going to be ruling. That's the last kingdom, okay? That's the kingdom we're in right now. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right? Going into all his lies. Okay? I think it's Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 7. Right? Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 7. It says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Right? And that mountain there is symbolic for a government. Right? Going into this government we're in right now. Okay? Ruled by the Edomites. Right? In this mountain, that covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations, that's talking about the lies and the deception. Right? Like if I put a blanket over you, that's exactly what's happened to majority of people here on earth. Right? They've been putting a blanket of lies over them. Okay? Based, it's on so many things. Right, who the true Israelites are, right? Recently, one that is coming out now, mainstream, is the color of the so-called Jesus Christ, right? That he's not a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair, but he's actually a so-called Negro, right? That's what he looks like. So all these, that covering cast, that veil that is spread over all the nations is being destroyed, right? The hidden things of Esau, Edom are being searched out. So Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 7, that's the point. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid the wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Right? And that's what we've been talking about, is all the allies of America, Israel, okay, all of them, every single last one of them, all these nations are going to turn and destroy America. Right? All the men of his confederacy, his allies, his brethren, okay, are going to deceive him and hit him with that knife in the back. Okay, because like I said, they're realizing that, hold up, we're not the problem. The problem is those damn Americans. They are the cancer of the earth. We need to get rid of it. Hey, we need to get rid of the source. Okay, let's get another one. In Habakkuk chapter 2. This is talking about the same thing, the Edomites. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. And I'll start at verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Right? And this is going into the Edomites, man. The wicked, those in power right now. Okay, they constantly borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow and take things by force. Right? When you go into that word thick clay, it goes into the Hebrew word ibatiat. Right, which means heavy weights or heavy pledges or a debt, right? A lot of debt, okay? And if you were to search up right now the U.S. debt clock, we're at damn near 34 trillion, okay? 34 trillion or billion, one of those, in debt, okay? That's that thick clay that they're covering themselves with, okay? But it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Right? And that word booties pretty much goes into spoils. Okay? And that's exactly what's going to happen. All these nations, they're going to rise up suddenly, and they're going to destroy America for the spoils. Right? And I can't even put that into words. Right? I had a little study there. But verse 8 says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Right? What they did to the Israelites, so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans. Right? Killed more than 90% here in America. Okay? All those atrocities of... There's literally a day going into Thanksgiving. Right? Thanksgiving goes into the murders, right? The killings of the so-called Native Americans, the Israelites. And they rejoice about it every single year. Right, whether you knew that or not. It says, and that's the point, man. That's the point. Okay? Shall not all these take up a parable against him? All these nations are going to do it. But let's get a couple more posts I have here. right, Iran's president said payback time, Arab world must unite now. The inaction and weak position resulting from the fear of some Arab countries had prevented the adoption of a unified Islamic stance against the Zionist regime and have made the regime more audacious in committing crimes. Undoubtedly, this Israel regime and its supporters will face the consequences of this terrorist and brutal crime. And the punishment of the perpetrators of the crime is definite and irreversible. Right? So pretty much they're saying, hey, all these Arab Eastern countries, we got to get together and we got to fight that common enemy, right? And that common enemy is Israel and America. Okay? These places are going to become deserts. Right? You went to Israel. You were threatening world peace. Right? What have we just been talking about? Okay? UN and NATO and the UN, Europe, whatever. Right? All those conglomerate of allies to America, they're going to turn on Israel and America and destroy these places. Right? Because they're realizing right here, you're threatening world peace. Right? You guys can't keep doing this because you're going to get us in that same boat of destruction. Right? You're going to make these Iranians, these Chinese, these Russians start looking at us crazy. Right? So, hey, stop all that. Right? You wildin'. Right? That's the mentality they have right now. Okay? Let's get another Twitter post I have here. Iran threatens, the deadliest attack is yet to come. We will soon witness further deadly attacks against Israel, and the resistance front will fulfill its duty. Okay? Look at that, man. Beautiful times we're living in. Okay, and I said a couple months ago how I had a dream, I had a vision. I think it was almost more than a year ago, about a couple months, 7, 8 months ago, about how one day I woke up and I saw on my phone and it said Israel attacked Iran. And I looked at my phone and I just knew, damn, okay, that's an escalation, right? That's World War III right there in the cusp. Okay, and I remember just the smile on my face because these things have to take place before the kingdom of heaven is established. Right? A lot of people don't understand that. They're always talking about, why do you guys want World War III to come? Those things are going to be so bad, blah, blah, blah. In order for the kingdom of heaven to come and for us to receive the benefits, right, what we've been promised, this place has to go down. So the faster that happens, the faster we are finally able to enter into that rest. Okay? And how it's looking, that vision I had may be soon, right? Maybe soon, maybe in a month. How it's looking in a month, we might see something like that. Israel attacking Iran directly, right? Because if Iran, when Iran attacks Israel, then that's gonna make Israel attack Iran directly, right? This conflict that's stirring up right now is because, like I said in the other video, I went over it. The Israelis, they attacked an Iranian embassy in Syria. Right, pretty much hit him with a little proxy, right? Hit him from the side, okay? But if you, like I said, when Iran attacks Israel, Israel's gonna attack Iran directly on their soils, right? And we're seeing a little bit of it right now, okay? Look at this post right here. Dozens of armed fighters attacked 3 Iranian military facilities. The attack was carried out in the city of Chabahar. At least 3 members of the Iranian security forces have been killed, okay? And this guy said, who are the attackers? Who do you think the attackers are, man? Who do you think the attackers are? Right? So, hey, we're in those times, man. We're in those times, and now it's time to tighten up. Because our redemption is nearer than when we believed. Our salvation is right there. We're seeing the signs of the times. So, just want to touch on that. And the topic of all nations are realizing America is the problem. Let's put that in there. That America is the problem, right? And all nations are going to shoot missiles upon this place. So hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to elect. Shalom.